Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my dirty 2022 Jeep Wrangler JL Sport. It's a 2.0 liter turbo, and as you can see, it's really dirty right now. I just came back from the Sierras. Over the course of a couple of weeks, I recorded 6 fill-ups on this car. I decided to get the actual real-world MPG on it because the average on the car, I'm not sure that I believe it. It seems extravagant. Sometimes, I like one trip I went to Phoenix with my wife, and I was recording 30 miles a gallon, and sometimes it would be, I don't know, on a regular work week, it would record like 22 or 23 miles per gallon. So I wasn't really sure what I was getting. So I decided to, just do my own um, method of how to calculate my MPGs, my real world MPGs. I had a JK in the past. It was a 2011 JK Rubicon with the 3.8 liter V6, and that thing was giving me, I think it was 17 miles per gallon. So I'm curious to see what the actual MPG is on this car. Now, one of the things is this is a stock Wrangler. It still has the original tires. It's the 245 75 17 tires that came with it. It's Michelin LTX, I believe. What else? It's a two-door. It has soft top. In terms of my driving habit, I don't drive fast. I average maybe on the freeway 75 and on the highway around 70 in my area. And um, I don't try to save gas or anything like that. I don't try to drive slow. So I'll be showing you guys a spreadsheet on the computer that shows my 6 fill-ups. And I'll show you my method of how I calculated my MPG. So this is my 6 fill-ups. It was between June 28th and July 8th. And my first fill-up, June 28th, all I cared about was the odometer reading. And I also cared about just filling up the tank. That's all that matters in this section here. So on June 30, my odometer reading was at 44,251, and I filled up 13.333 gallons, which is full tank. So if you do a 44,251 minus 43,929, that gives you 322 miles of usage. Or I drove 322 miles basically. And if you divide 322 miles by 13.333 gallons, that gives you 24.1506 miles. So I did the same thing here on July 3rd, 5th, all the way down to July 8th. That's basically how my maths worked. And you'll see that my average between these fill-ups is 23.0648 miles per gallon. So let's do an analysis of what was going on. On June 30, which was my highest MPG, the reason for this is because when we drove from LA County to San Diego County, there was a lot of traffic, and the traffic slowed down towards 30 miles per hour at one point, and the fastest was probably around 70. So because it's within that 30 to 70 mile per hour range, the 2.0 liter tends to do well in those speeds. I think anything beyond maybe 75 miles per hour, it starts to struggle and it starts to use more gas. So if you see here, July 3rd to July 5th, the MPG was pretty low. We took a trip to Mammoth during this time, I took out the back seat and I stuffed a whole bunch of camping and hiking gear into the back of the car. And I also added a hitch that carried our cooler in the back. So that's one factor. The other factor is that there was wind when we were driving there. Usually in the desert, when you're going up towards the 14 and the 395 highways, um, especially around like when it begins in like Mojave area or California City, that's when it starts getting super windy. So that's another factor that drove down the MPGs. And the last factor I think is that we were driving uphill. We were driving up the mountain towards Mammoth. So um, that's the third factor. So on July 7, the MPG improved. We were driving back home. I was in a hurry though. So I think this is the reason why the MPG is not as high as it should be. I was driving with traffic probably around like 80 miles an hour. And there was some wind when we got towards um, California City again, towards Lancaster and Palmdale. And then you also had to, on the 14, you also had that incline going towards Santa Clarita area. So I think that was a fact. Those were the factors that drove down this MPG, or that kind of made this seem lower than it should have. I mean, imagine if I was going maybe 70 miles an hour all throughout, I would have probably had around 24.15 as well. Just kind of like how the MPG was on June 30. And then on July 8th, those were just normal driving for me. I go to work mainly on the highways. It's a corridor where I live that kind of the wind comes from the Pacific Ocean, and that corridor just gets super windy. And my main drive within my area is highway. So it gets really, really windy. There's no protection. There's not that much trees around the area. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why my MPG again went down to 22.86 in this section right here. So that's all I have. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe if you like this video. Thank you so much.